The first experiment we're going to look at will have to do with a process that involves copper sulfate, copper 2 sulfate, and iron. In this case we're going to use, instead of steel wool, we'll use steel shavings. So let's take a look at what those look like. Here are the steel shavings. And if you look at them, you'll see that they're solid, they're metallic, and they're shiny. With this experiment, we're going to be looking at how things look before the process and then how things look after the process, so we can ascertain as to whether or not a change has occurred. That's why it's going to be important for us to be able to see what things were like before and then what things were like afterwards. And if you look at this, you'll see that they're kind of flexible as well, and malleable is what we call that. Right, the other thing we're going to be using here will be copper sulfate, or copper 2 sulfate. And it comes in a bottle that looks like this. And I'm going to put some into a test tube. You'll see what that looks like in a second. There we go. So I want you just to look at that and see what you observe about it. What you should be observing is that it's clear and that it's blue. The term clear simply means you can see through it. Blue is obviously the colour of the liquid. I'm going to go ahead and add the steel to the copper sulfate, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and shake this a little bit. And we'll see if any changes have occurred. When we're looking at changes, we're going to be looking at what we can see, what we can hear, and what we can feel. When I feel this, I don't feel any changes at all as far as heat goes, so there's no heat or cold going on here. When I listen, I don't hear any changes, there's no fizzing or anything else going on, but I can see some changes, and I'm going to leave it to you to decide what kinds of changes you could see from what we started with to what we